Welcome back, everyone. Today we're tackling something so many homeschool families are asking about: sensory activities that actually help kids with ADHD stay focused and regulated. If you've got a child who just can't sit still or who seems to learn better while moving, this one's for you.
Thanks for having me. This is such an important topic. You know, the beautiful thing about homeschooling is that we have the flexibility to teach kinesthetic learners outside the limitations of a traditional classroom. We can let kids move, touch, and engage in ways that actually support their learning instead of fighting against it.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What makes sensory activities so effective for ADHD learners?
Well, sensory play helps children with ADHD regulate their sensory input and improve focus. These activities engage all the senses: smell, sight, taste, touch, and hearing. When kids with ADHD get the right kind of sensory input, they can shift into what I call a calm but alert state, which is perfect for learning.
That makes sense. So, what does that look like in practice? What are some of the best activities families can try?
Multisensory teaching, seeing, hearing, touching, moving, is really effective for ADHD learners. For literacy, you might have kids trace letters in sand, rice, or even shaving cream. They could write spelling words with finger paint or act out vocabulary with motions. For math, use blocks or counting bears. Toss a ball back and forth while answering facts, or hop to answers on floor number cards.
I love how hands on those are. What about science or other subjects?
Sensory bins are fantastic. Think rice, beans, or water beads for sorting and hands-on learning. You can hide vocabulary cards in them for kids to dig out. Modeling Play-Doh, shaping kinetic sand, finger painting, these all develop fine motor skills while keeping kids engaged. The key is that the activity doesn't always need to be directly related to what they're learning. They just need to be moving, feeling, or touching,
I hear you. So it's more about the sensory input itself than the specific task?
right? And this is where the concept of a sensory diet comes in. It's basically a personalized plan of activities and tools designed to help a child manage their sensory needs throughout the day. Think of it as a menu of input your child gets to stay regulated and ready to learn. Or another way to look at it, it's scheduled sensory input that keeps them in that sweet spot for learning.
Can you break that down a bit? What goes into a sensory diet?
Sure, a sensory diet includes planned movement, deep pressure, and hands-on tasks to improve focus and regulation. You're mixing alerting activities like jumping or running with calming ones like deep pressure or heavy work in a natural daily rhythm. So maybe 5 to 10 minutes of trampoline jumping or animal walks in the morning before lessons. Midday, you'd include heavy work like carrying laundry, wall push-ups, or pushing a loaded basket.
That point about planned movement and heavy work sets up our next piece: choosing the right physical tools for those activities. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Homeschooling families know that keeping kids with ADHD focused and engaged takes the right materials. At Little People's Cove, we curate durable, sensory rich toys and furniture backed by strong warranties, products built to last. From sensory tables and kinetic sand to wobble cushions and indoor balance beams, we help you create learning spaces that support focus and calm sensory play. We are here to help you choose what fits your child's learning style. Find what you need at www.littlepeoplescove.com.
Picking up on that planned movement and heavy work, what physical tools do you recommend families actually invest in first?
Great question. For evening wind down, maybe a warm bath, a weighted blanket during reading, or a calm sensory putty. Fidget toys can be helpful sensory tools for some children. Things like stress balls, fidget cubes, marble mazes, or textured stones. You could also use a therapy ball or wobble cushion as a seat, or let kids chew gum or have crunchy snacks.
Right, so you're giving them an outlet for that restless energy without derailing the lesson.
Exactly. And I remember working with one family whose son would literally bounce off the walls during math. We introduced a wobble cushion, and within a week, he was finishing problems he'd avoided for months. It was like flipping a switch. The key is, these are quiet background tools that don't take over the task, but effectiveness varies from child to child. So observation is important.
That's a great example, Beyond fidgets, what else helps?
Children with ADHD often benefit from activities that provide deep pressure and rhythmic movement. Swinging can be beneficial for children who struggle with sensory processing, as it provides vestibular input, the sense of movement and balance. You could also do a burrito wrap with a snug blanket and slow pressure with a pillow. Animal walks, yoga poses, even musical instruments that provide vibration. All of these can help settle the nervous system.
Now, here's something I think a lot of parents wonder. How do these activities change as kids get older? Have you ever noticed how a teenager isn't exactly going to want to do animal walks?
Yeah, that's true. Physical activity is still essential for teenagers with ADHD because it helps release excess energy and improves cognitive function. Older kids might benefit from activities like knitting, indoor adventure centers, or friendly competition. They still need that sensory input, but it looks different. You're adapting the same principles, movement, deep pressure, hands-on engagement, to age-appropriate formats.
What about the structure around these activities? I imagine it's more than just the sensory piece.
You're right. Successful ADHD homeschooling combines sensory input with structure, short work bursts, clear routines, and movement. Structure and predictability are key for ADHD learners. Consistent routines help reduce anxiety and improve focus. Use short blocks, maybe 10 to 15 minutes of work, then 3 to 5 minutes of movement. Build a predictable daily rhythm with a visual schedule, but keep some flexibility.
Right, makes total sense.
Minimize visual clutter in the workspace and tie their interests into lessons to take advantage of that ADHD hyperfocus.
That's really practical. What would you say to parents who are just starting out and feeling overwhelmed by all these options?
Start small. Sensory needs are individual, so you need observation and adaptation to find what helps your child. A small, quiet focus kit with a couple of fidgets can be a good starting point, though remember that effectiveness varies based on individual needs and preferences. Keep a simple log of what you tried, when, and how learning went afterward. Over time, you'll build a custom routine that works for your family.
I think that's such an encouraging way to look at it. You're building something unique for your child, not following a rigid prescription. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts for families listening?
Just remember that homeschooling offers the flexibility to teach kinesthetic learners in ways traditional classrooms can't. These kids aren't broken or difficult. They're wired to learn through movement and touch. When we work with that instead of against it, amazing things happen. The sensory strategies we've talked about, they're tools to help kids feel happy, regulated, and inspired to learn every day. Oh, and one more thing. I know a great company that provides lots of sensory toys and activities that really help the homeschool classroom. Their website is littlepeoplescove.com.
That's a perfect place to end. Thanks so much for sharing all this practical wisdom with us today.
My pleasure. Happy homeschooling, everyone.